There's a great power in just saying no. Let's explore that.
Should we say it first?
No.
See, it seems so mean.
It does seem so mean.
It does. And we've got to take that negativity out of it, because sometimes when we say yes, that causes more stress and anxiety in our worlds. Right?
100%.
Yeah. But so how do we do it, guys?
We've had, our good friend Connie has been on the program before, Connie Sokol, and I remember one of the things that has always stuck with me in learning to say no was, we're not in that season of life right now. And that was more like being able to say that to my parents. Like, we're not in that season, we can't do that. Or if you don't want necessarily to bring that dish for Thanksgiving, if it's too complicated for you, it's okay.
It's
It's
say,
really
I
okay
would
to
love
say
to
no.
bring something else.
Yes. And,
Right.
and she had even said, a card, chocolate, put a Band-Aid on it, but you don't have to carry that guilt. And I think that we probably all feel so much guilt. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's the culture or if the expectations or being a people pleaser. I think there's so many different facets to that. And I know that even sending my little one to kindergarten this year, you feel like, ooh, free time. But really, it's
Then
not.
people
And
come at you with other
it's not
stuff.
that other opportunities are really opening up. It's just you're able to fill that gap with other things, whether that's self-care, whether that's who knows what you fill it with. But I think it happens in so many different times of life. So you might, I don't know, you could be in completely different situations with...
It's interesting. I want you guys to follow. It's called The Holistic Psychologist on
Okay.
Instagram. And just recently, she talked about how to set boundaries. And number one was be gracious. So at first, that sounds like an amazing time. I really appreciate you inviting me. So be gracious. But then
You don't have to be rude and negative, right?
Oh, thank you for the invite. That sounds fun.
Okay.
But then, so number one, be gracious. Number two, decline. But I won't be able to make it. Do not offer an excuse or reason. You can say no without a cause.
Which I was just telling you guys, that quote that I saw, that it said, no, it is a complete sentence, which I love. We don't have to give an excuse. Like, sometimes you can share with a friend, like, I can't go to lunch because this, and this. But sometimes it's just like you're too overwhelmed. Too many things going on in your world, and it's okay not to explain to people.
Yeah. So in my head, tell me if this is how you think. And so if we didn't have the cameras rolling, this is what I would probably say is, if I tell you no, and you're going to say why, and let's say I just don't want to.
Right.
I'm now worried about what you
She's
think.
thinking of me. Yep.
And that's why you offer excuses.
Right.
Is
Or
that
if I say no and then someone else sees me doing something else, then
Yes.
also you can
Right.
say yes to
So
them, but not to my
How
thing.
often do you have more stress coming up with the excuse?
A lot of times.
That's a lot. Oh, what am I going to say? What am I going to
Like,
do?
or text you and
coming up.
you sit there for a minute like, oh, how do I say this? I don't want to offend them.
or saying yes because you don't want to offend, but then you're unhappy.
It's
Yes.
super interesting that you just made the texting thing but is it because you don't want to? Is it harder? Is it harder to just decline?
I don't know. Is it
text
harder in
or say
person?
I think it's definitely harder in person.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I think that's one of the pitfalls of technology. I mean,
you
there's so many things. I mean, we
Right.
can go into the technology conversation
Right.
again, but I think that's one of the things that's really causing so much social angst. Or
I think for
if
me,
it's
just saying no
easier-
in general, but as an example, the texting, like, how am I going to word this so it sounds kind?
Right.
Or how, you know what I mean? Which
Right.
is just so silly.
So do you both
that we're
think-
so worried about
Yeah.
people that we love and we know care about us, that we're so worried about how to
what
say
they
no.
think. Is that what
they think?
if you say no, you're worried about what they're thinking about you?
Or disappointing them. I think I'm not like FOMO,
Okay.
like fear of missing out on things. I'm a fear of not pleasing them, or I could help. I'm capable of doing that.
Okay.
So why am I not saying
Okay,
yes?
I
Because
think
I'm
somebody,
capable.
somebody just might even appreciate like the honesty in the answer sometimes.
Right.
No.
Like, I'm overwhelmed
And
right now.
That or some and this just because we had talked about it earlier, because I talked about going to the Book of Mormon musical.
Yeah.
You and I had talked about that earlier, and we like going to theater together. And I said, do you think this is one you'd be interested in? And you kind of were And I remember you actually saying, oh, I don't think so. I think I'm going to save my money to go on a trip. I think I'm going to be spending more time going to see my daughter.
Which was so good.
Which is,
right. And
like,
you weren't offended.
I didn't know. I
Okay.
didn't actually need the explanation, but it was so like heartfelt and honest. And yeah, like I'd love to spend time with you as a friend, but I'd rather save my money or not see that or go, just go see my daughter.
Right.
Okay, can I tell you guys I hated tending other people's kids when I had littles?
I did too.
Like I really didn't
I
like
did
it.
too.
I think most people do.
And it was hard.
And then I was like, let's trade. Let's not. I don't want to watch
I'd
your
rather
kids.
pay someone for us to tend these children.
And back then, like when you're a stay-at-home mom, you still have to be scheduled. And I just feel so peaceful when my house is clean. So Monday was my day. And when people said, can you watch so-and-so on Monday? Finally, for me to get to that place to say no on Monday was liberating and huge. But then I was a better mom, a happier wife all the rest of the week because my house was in order. So why is it that we are more
worried about offending than
and
taking
teasing
care of
you?
ourselves? It's back to the
We
self-care,
are messed
guys.
up.
We are. Well,
No,
I think we're in a society, though, in general, where we are critical of others. And so I think we're nervous of being judged in a certain way. And what are they thinking? And I think we really have to get to that place where we're comfortable with who cares what they think. I have the best of intentions, and normally I would do if I could, or go or whatever. And I'm still a good person if I say no.
But I like that. Like, oh, I would if I could. I'm just not able to.
Well, and some of the things that are important, I mean, schedule and time is very important to me. Time is precious to me. So when I feel like somebody is intruding on my time or dirtying the house or whatever it is, you do get a little more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I agree. I mean, if all of your ducks are in a row and things are lining up for you and it makes you a happier and nicer person to be around, it's probably better for everyone. Keith has made those comments to me more than one time. And I think I've said it about my own children before. Like, I only like our kids. Not that I don't like other kids. I mean, I love other kids, but it's really difficult when you're not used to having other kids in your environment or what they're used to or what you're used to. And if climbing on their couch is fine. And
it's driving you crazy.
I'm like,
so for 2 hours you're dying.
More than a couple of times. I'm like, well,
I can't wait till their mom comes to pick them up.
We don't climb on the counter here. We just don't help ourselves to the candy in her house. I mean, it is difficult. And I think having to...
And some children were easier to have in your home than others. Some I'm like, oh, they jive with like how we roll.
Yes.
So that's easy. Oh yeah, I'll say yes to that one. And others I was like, here we go.
And sometimes kids, when they're at play with other kids or you're in that situation, do better. I mean, sometimes when my kids are alone, I'm like, holy cow.
Let's
find a friend. Yeah.
I just think that our worlds are so busy that we do need to try and incorporate a portion of just saying no.
Just say no.
So my challenge is to recognize and say no. You guys can say no to me anytime.
Recognize,
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
Recognize it.
Recognize that we can say no.
Okay.
We've got
There's our challenge. Okay. There's more studio chatter coming up.